Hey everyone, welcome back. So it is my yearly favorites, and this year I broke it up into several different categories. So I've already done highlighters. Today I'm doing bronzers and blushes because I felt like I was going to do face products. But here's the issue that I talked about before is I kind of like to talk a lot. So I have a lot for each category. These were my most used, my top recommended of 2017. Every single product that I'm mentioning is something that I would say, if you're gonna put your money towards it, go out and get them. At least in my opinion, these are the best because I consistently use them throughout the year. So I'm gonna go in this video just in like bronzers, blushes, so that it's not like bronzer, blush, bronzer, blush, bronzer, blush. But anyways, I realized that as I was pulling products, I had like a ton of bronzers. And I don't know, I guess I liked bronzers more than I thought. I thought I was like not as switchy-roo in between them as I was blushes. But when I was looking at my blushes, I was like, nope, these are pretty consistent. Honestly, I think if you have followed my channel for any amount of time, you're going to be like nodding your head this entire video because you know I've been pretty consistent with my blush favorites throughout my videos, my Friday favorites and such. I'm going to be trying to get these little favorites videos up for the year up pretty consistently. I had some stuff going on in my personal life. If you follow me on social media, I've talked about it a little bit, and just with the holidays, it's been difficult with my kids home from school and everything. So thank you guys for all being patient, but let's just, I have like, this is a bread container because you know when you have a ton of makeup, you just gotta use every container. Serious, it says bread container. I don't know, I just was like, I saw it and I'm like, I gotta put all my stuff in there to take over here. So anyways, let's start with bronzers. So the first one that I pretty consistently used is this one from Marc Jacobs. This is such a great bronzer. If you could get your hands on it, I would definitely do so. It is the Tantasic Omega Bronzer Coconut Perfect Tan from Marc Jacobs. The reason that I like this so much is it's a matte bronzer, so you could use it for contour as well as just bronzing up the complexion. Smells like this slight hint of coconut, and it's like a cool tone, more cool tone color. So I really liked it to contour with because I felt like it really did a great job at providing that shadow. It wasn't like too orange, even though it's called Tantasic. It just gave like a really nice color. Plus the formula of this is just so soft. It's just a really, really beautiful bronzer. I don't know if swatching these, well yeah, you can see that. The color is great if you're fair skin, medium skin, but this one has been like a huge favorite throughout the year. These from Boots number 7 were huge discoveries for me in 2017. I absolutely love these bronzers. You can find this brand at Target. The two colors that I went between, there's a lighter color and a darker color. The lighter color is called Caramel, and it's just this really easy and wearable shade. I love this color. It's just so, I'm gonna show you the difference between the Tantasic one. It's this one right here. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit less cool tone, but it just blends in so beautifully. I loved this one. If you want something that's a little bit darker, you can use Golden Sand. I believe this one's darker. Pretty sure. Let me look at the two of them together. Maybe Golden Sand is lighter. This is Golden Sand and this is Caramel. I guess Golden Sand might be lighter. I don't know. I really liked them both. Golden Sand is lighter, so if you have a little bit more, yep, definitely, for sure, for sure. If you have a little bit more fair complexion, you could use Golden Sand. I mean, both of them are beautiful. When I'm more fair, I use this one. When I'm darker, I use Caramel. But like I said, the bronzer is just so nice. It just blends in effortlessly. If you're someone who's like new to bronzer, I would go with Golden Sand, the lighter one, because the formula is so nice. And the color is not like, I don't feel like you could mess it up. You know what I mean? It's a very safe bronzer, but just a great formula all over, great price. You can find them at Target. I have a liquid bronzer that I was very consistent to loving, and I've talked about this a lot, but it's been out of stock at Sephora's website. If you can find this, this is from CoverFX. I think it's called Sunswept. It is a beautiful, beautiful color. It's just like this liquidy bronzer. I'm almost out of it, but it was perfect to add to foundations. It just added a little bit of extra color. If I wanted to do something, I especially use this in the summer just because I loved the color of it. But I would just add it to darken up some of my foundations. I'd also add it just on a sponge, and it just gave this gorgeous glow, and it was very, very natural. It blended into the foundation. That's the bonus of using a liquid product. If I wanted to go for also another type of a liquid product, this is a cream bronzer from Sonia Kashuk. I find this extremely comparable to the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. This is better in my opinion. I find it lasts longer. I like the color better. This one is in rich bronze, but they do have a lighter shade. As you can see, I've given this a fair amount of love over the years. It's just a really, really great color and a great consistency. Let me just show you the color of it. It looks a little bit orange here, but when you blend it into the skin, I swear it just gives you such a beautiful coloring. Another option, which I think is really, really great, are these little sticks from Milani. This is called the Contour Highlight. I don't use the highlight side. Honestly, I use this for the contour. This is in the light natural 02 shade. I love these because, let me just do it down here. The shade is so nice and cool tone, and these are creamy. They blend out really well, and you can get really precise application for contouring your face. And then when you go and buff them out with a brush, they just buff into the skin beautifully. They don't disrupt the foundation. You can find Milani at Walgreens, Target, some H-E-Bs if you live in Texas. That's our grocery store here. So anyways, love these so much, and I think they do have like a darker shade and one lighter shade, so definitely pick those up. If you're looking for a really great contour, this is a great palette for contour bronzing. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin palette, Shapeshifter palette. This is in the light medium. This has, on one side, it has cream products, which I haven't really dabbled in these as much. I do like them, but I don't love them for the face. I find the other ones I mentioned I used more. But for the contour and bronze, these shades are beautiful. This one in particular is really, really nice at getting a nice contour. Even works on the nose. I mean, the powders in this are so, so nice. This light powder is great for under the eyes. This is a pretty highlight, but honestly, I use this palette mainly for the bronzer shades. They're just so buttery. They blend so well. They're extremely pigmented. So this is just a really, really great, and it's great to travel with because you do have all of it. And I mean, it's not too thick. It's pretty nice, but I really loved this year. Another all-time favorite bronzer is this one from NARS. This is Laguna. I bought it in this sort of palette that comes with the mini Ita brush. And so I just love this color for contouring and bronzing up. This has a little bit of shimmer in it, but honestly, it's not something that you notice. This is an everyday bronzer for me. This does not swatch well, I'm not even gonna lie. It's right here on the middle finger. Like every time I go to swatch it, it just does not swatch well. It's right here, but it builds up beautifully on the skin. It gives you a lot of color, and I love the small Ita brush because honestly, I feel like you can get right in there and contour out the face with this. And Laguna is just one of those interesting colors. It's one of the first bronzers I heard about when I started my channel. It was like, you have to get this bronzer. And honestly, it's everything that everyone said it was. This palette gets so dirty. I just tried to like low-key clean it. This is the Alexis in Colourpop bronzer. This is a duo. I loved this thing. I had to honestly put it down. I don't know if you can still get it or if it's still in stock, but if by some chance it is, it's just such a good bronzer from Colourpop. I mean, it blends really beautifully. I use this a lot in the summer. It pulls a little bit more orange, but it does give you a really nice glow and bronze to the skin. These last two bronzers are from Hourglass, and I pretty much talk about them all the time. My absolute #1 go-to is this Luminous Bronze Light. I just think that it just the formula of these is so nice because it's just, it really is this beautiful luminous baked formula that just blends into the skin and makes you glow. This is my absolute favorite. It's like hit pan right there, if you can see, which, you know, as a makeup lover, that makes me like a proud little mama that I hit pan on my little baby here. But this color is just perfect if you have fair skin like me. I would recommend this one. As you can see, it doesn't look like much, but it just really blends into the face beautifully and gives a great color. And then this is a newer one for me in the last half of 2017, but this is the Diffused Bronze Light. It's a little bit more cool tone. It doesn't have quite as much shimmer to it, but no, I guess it does. It does, but it's more cool tone. So this is the Bronze Light and this is the Luminous Light. They're just both super beautiful, but just different tones, cool tone and more of a warm tone. So equally love them and love the formula, but obviously my most used is the Luminous Bronze Light. I thought that was the last one, but I forgot about my Old Faithful. This is MAC Give Me Sun. I'm like cleaning off all my stuff right now because as I pick it up, I realize everything has like little grubby fingerprints on it. MAC's Give Me Sun is just a staple of mine. I use this in my crease for my eyes, and when I want to just do like a simple look in the summertime, I use this because I really feel like it mimics a tan for me. I just use it all over my face to bronze up, not to contour, but if I want to just do like a soft bronze, no contour, but just get my face looking glowing when I have a little bit of sun, I want to like sort of enhance that. I was gonna say embellish, but enhance upon the sun that I've already gotten a little bit on my face. And then I just run it through the crease and I put on a ton of mascara, and I always pair this when I wear like an orange lip because I just feel like it's just that simple, easy, but it always makes me feel put together and very summery. So I love MAC's Give Me Sun. This pulls extremely orange, I will let you know. So if you're fair in the dead of winter, nah. But this is a great one to have in the summer. And like I said, I use it as an eyeshadow too because it has like a really nice oranginess to it and it blends in beautifully on the eyes. So that is MAC's Give Me Sun, definite staple in my collection, and I used it throughout the year. Okay, let's move on to blushes. First of all, I'm going to start with the one that I have the most from the category. Well, actually I have two categories, well, not categories, but two blush brands that I have several from. I have two blushes from Laura Geller that I just think are absolute must-haves. This is Sunswept and Pink Grapefruit, and then I don't know why I didn't grab, but the other one that I want to tell you is Honeysuckle. So beautiful. Let me grab this smaller version I have of it. Hollywood Blushing Baked Blush Trio comes with Pink Grapefruit and Honeysuckle, so two of the blushes that I really love. Let me swatch those, and then these are just like the most underrated blushes from Laura Geller. I mean, they're not from Laura Geller, but just in general, you can find them at Ulta, carries them. Pink Grapefruit is just this really pretty, they have like this sheen, shimmer, glow to them. And then Honeysuckle, oh, this one is so pretty. It's like this, has this like bronzy, light pink veining. And depending honestly on how yours is, you can get a little bit more bronze, you can get a little bit more light pink, peach sort ofness to it. And then the other one that I have is Sunswept. This is just this beautiful, look at this one, like beautiful bronzy glow to it. This one is so pretty in the summer just because it's so nice and warm and bronzy. These blushes are all so beautiful, and they just give you this like glowing lit look. You don't even need to use a highlighter just because your face is beautiful, but it doesn't look like it's shimmer. It's just this like lit within. I just love it. And then I always have to talk about my Charlotte Tilbury blushes because these are just my tried and true. Every time I travel, I bring these. I have three, no, that's not one of them. I have two colors for you. I had a third, but I grabbed the wrong one. The other one is, I've talked about it, it's like a plum color. But these two shades, I talk about them every year, so I'm only going to say it really, really quickly. You have to get Ecstasy. It's just the most beautiful. First Love is another one. That would be a great one if you want just like an everyday blush color. This is like my favorite blush that's like a peachy shade. It just always looks good. And then the Love Glow is my favorite like pink blush, just because I just feel like it's just this perfect tone. It just gives you this gorgeous, gorgeous glow without having any shimmer to it, just like this sheen. Honestly, I can't say enough about the formula of these Charlotte Tilbury blushes. They are just so incredible, and I just don't think you would be disappointed if you picked them up. So these are like my two must-haves. Every time I travel, I literally bring these two blushes, because I'm like, either I'm going to be wearing a pink color or I'm going to be wearing this really pretty peach color. But like I said, there's a color called First Love, which is like this nude shade that I think everyone would love as well if you're into like an everyday nude shade that probably goes with everything. So that would be one to pick up if you're really like wanting one that goes with everything. But if you want a good peachy blush and you want a good pink blush, these are my two options. Ecstasy for the peachy shade and Love Glow for the pink shade. Another glowy blush that had my heart this year are these Natasha Denona Duo Glows. There are two shades, Alba and Rayo. This one is, I believe, the pink shade, or there's like a pink shade and a peach shade. Oh, they're just so pretty. I couldn't put these down this summer. These are like high shine blushes. They're almost like highlighter blushes. So I use them, as you can see, as like toppers and beautiful in the summer with like bronzy skin. I just love them. Just a little bit goes a long way, and I would use a big fluffy brush to kind of diffuse it out. But every time I wore these, people would be like, what are you wearing? And I would always tell them it was this little puppy, and then they were out of stock for a really long time on Sephora, and I'm like, Sephora, get it together, because everyone's asking what I'm wearing. But it's just a really pretty shimmery color. If you have mature skin, I don't know if this one is the best for you, but it is beautiful. But I can see how, since it is so shimmery, that it would maybe attract more to some fine lines up here. Now, I don't have very many lines even around my eyes or anything, luckily yet, crow's feet, but I can see if you sort of did in this area maybe have like a lot of texture. It doesn't do too bad with my texture, but if you have a lot of texture or fine lines, like maybe stay away from it. But oh, it's just so pretty. Look at that. I just love it. Okay, and then this one is from Makeup Forever. Oh, nuts. Like, I can't tell you the number of it because it's stuck in this palette. I wonder if I can pop. Oh, yes, I did it. I popped it out. Thank the Lord Jesus. Why can these not have regular names? This is B302. These are from Makeup Forever, and this color is just so pretty. I wore it a ton, and I always got compliments on it. It's like this peach. It's a satin right here, and it's just this beautiful like peachy shade. Brings a lot of like light, but it's not too overpowering. You can't really mess it up. Just like a little bit on the cheeks. I wore this a ton this year. As soon as I got them, I was like obsessed with this color for a really long time because I felt like you couldn't mess up with it. It was just light enough, but it was bright enough, and it just gave a really beautiful color. And it's so finely milled that it just kind of like blended into your cheeks and just looked like it was just one with you. Okay, I have one more powder product, and then I have a liquid blush for you. This blush from MAC has just been a go-to for me for several years, especially in the fall time. This is a beautiful shade. It's a beautiful all the time shade, but it's called Gingerly. It is a matte blush, and it's just like this matte neutral with a hint of like terracotta peach in it. Looks really, really beautiful on the skin, and it just is a great everyday natural blush. My mom has this one, and she really likes it. This is a sheer tone blush, so the good thing about that is you can continually build up the color, and you know, just a little bit, and you can build with it. It's not like so pigmented that you're gonna mess up with it, which is something that I love about the sheer tone formula from MAC. I really feel like it's easy to work with, but this is just a really beautiful color. It's almost like one of those bronzer type blush colors, and I mean, it just works so beautifully for an everyday look, and I think this is like a staple in it should be a staple in everyone's collection. So if you're looking for a really great like matte, really nice, easy wearable shade, Gingerly from MAC is a great one. Okay, last, I absolutely loved these, and I used them a ton this summer. I was really into using like liquid highlight, liquid bronzer, liquid blush, and I found that they just really, it just stayed on my face really well. I did a lot of traveling this summer, and I took these NARS liquid blushes. This shade is in Torrid. I grabbed the wrong shade because my favorite shade was this shade Orgasm, but these are just all so beautiful. This one is like a corally color, but Orgasm is basically like liquid, like that shade, like a peachy with a shimmer to it, but this is such a pretty like corally orange shade. I mean, I used all of them, but honestly, I would put it on the back of my hand. I would take a stipple brush, brush it around, and then I would put it on my face. And I mean, you could top it with a powder product, but sometimes I didn't even need to. And it just, like I said, kind of like felt like it was one with my face, which I like that look. So this is just a really beautiful color. I will say that Torrid is a little bit more difficult to work with if you want an easier shade to work with. And the shade I wore the most is Orgasm. I grabbed the wrong shade. So much for the names. But yeah, so I mean, it's really pretty, and it just gives like a nice little pop of color to the cheeks. So I wore those a ton this year. Especially in the summertime. I'm like super into, like I said, liquid products in the summer. Sometimes I topped them with powder, and sometimes I just left them straight up, and they always stayed. Okay, that is it for my bronzers and blushes that I used throughout. These are the best of. If you are interested in my highlighters, I will leave that video linked above. You can check that video out. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah.